Hello, I'm Rick Torbett, and welcome to Better Basketball's Scoring Without the Ball. In order to build a basketball player from the ground up, we first have to lay down a foundation of skills: shooting, ball handling, passing, one-on-one defense. Then we use those abilities to learn how to attack and score one-on-one. Armed with those talents, most players think that they're equipped to play, but all they really have are skills with the ball. Considering that you spend 80% of your time on offense without the ball, it's only natural that your next step of development must be to learn how to play without the ball. I'm not talking about random movement without a purpose, but moves without the ball that set you up to score. And that's why our title is Scoring Without the Ball. Think about this. Isn't it easy to play defense against players who stand still and do nothing? They allow you to get in good helping position or to anticipate how you're going to steal the pass if it comes your way. On the other hand, don't you hate guarding the player who moves without the ball? You're constantly wondering, is my man about to rear cut me? Is he setting me up for a screen? Should I be denying or helping? If my man would just stand still, everything on defense would be easier. Now think about it. If you don't like guarding that kind of player when you're on defense, then when you're on offense and you don't have the ball, you should become that kind of player. Now, to become a dangerous player without the ball, you will be required to keep your eye on two or more things at the same time. But that's nothing new. On defense, you learn to watch both the ball and your man at the same time. Well, offense without the ball is no different. You'll learn to keep an eye on the ball and read your defender at the same time. The goal of this video is to transform you from a spectator to a player, from someone who stands and watches to someone who moves with intelligence and purpose, and ultimately to double or triple the points you would otherwise score. Scoring without the ball is divided into 7 chapters. The first chapter involves getting open and scoring by yourself on the ball side. Chapter 2 teaches you when to stay, when to cut, and who to read from the weak side. Chapter 3 shows the scoring cuts to make after you've passed the ball. Chapter 4 will dissect the fast break and how to become a slasher. Chapter 5 teaches the spacing, slides, and scoring opportunities that become available when your teammate penetrates. Chapter 6 demonstrates that setting a screen on the ball is often the best way to get yourself open for a score. And last, Chapter 7 takes 4 types of defenders and 4 types of screens away from the ball and teaches you how to score as both the screener and the cutter. And now, in typical Better Basketball fashion, let's not waste any time standing and watching. Let's get started with Better Basketball Scoring Without the Ball.
Chapter 1. One pass away, get open and score.
Here's the situation. Your teammate has the ball on the perimeter, you're one pass away, you're being guarded tough, and you have to get open by yourself to get the ball. You can't score if you can't get open and get the ball. In other words, you may be a whiz one-on-one with the ball, but if the defense can keep you from receiving the ball, your skills with the ball won't do you any good. Now, if this chapter were only about the moves to get open, it would still be worth learning. But I want you to take things a step further. I want you to view getting open, receiving the ball, reading the defense, and attacking the score as parts of one continuous move made up of consecutive reads and reactions. The basic principle I want you to consider is that your move to get open could leave your defender out of position for a split second. And in that split second, you can take advantage to score. Getting open, receiving the ball, reading the defense, and attacking the score are so dependent upon each other that it's difficult to separate them. Even so, in order to make it easier to learn, I've separated this chapter into 2 parts. First, the methods to get open and receive the ball, and second, the reads and moves to score.
getting open and receiving the ball. Situation 1, very little space to get open.
The first situation is one where you have very little space to operate. This could occur anywhere on the floor, but in this example, you're on the wing, one pass away, with a teammate behind you, and the low post is occupied. In other words, you can't use the threat of a basket cut, nor can you start in the corner and break to the wing. Here's how to get open with only 3 steps.
Read number 1, the defender does not move.
Take your first step towards your defender and then read him. If your defender doesn't move, then your second step is across him to the outside. Your third step creates space away from the defender and should be coordinated with your target hand.
Read number 2, the defender moves to deny.
This time, as a response to your first step, your defender steps higher to deny the ball. React with a second step toward the basket, showing your teammate a target hand. Your third step cuts off the defender. You now have an outnumbering situation, 5 offensive players against 4 defenders.
Read number 3, the defender makes contact.
And finally, your defender might take your first step in his direction as a chance to make contact with you. If so, then spin and seal him with a reverse pivot. You now have the same outnumbering situation as before.
Situation 2, space to move, shorten the pass.
Shorter passes are safer passes. In this case, you're on the perimeter and far enough away that a cut toward the ball would significantly shorten the pass and yet still leave you with good offensive spacing. Let's look at the cuts and reads in 3 different situations: when you're outside the arc, on the arc, or inside the arc.
Outside the arc.
If you're starting your cut outside the 3-point line, stay outside the arc as you cut toward the ball. Now you can use the arc to simplify your read. If your defender remains behind the arc, then you're open. This is an easy passing read for your teammate as well. And let's face it, in these situations, you don't have the ball, and in order to get the ball, your teammate must decide that it's okay to pass you the ball. So you want to make that read as clear and clean as possible for your passing teammate. That's what this technique does. If your defender is behind or inside the arc, then you're open. It's that simple. Give eye contact and show target hands. On the other hand, if your defender steps on or over the 3-point line, then you're not open and you should basket cut. Look for that read in these clips.
The read. Over the arc. Over the arc.
Not only is this a clear and simple read for both you and your passing teammate, but you also have plenty of space between you and the goal to receive the ball, make a move on a help defender, and score. Now for some detail. Make your cut an explosive change of speed by planting your outside foot parallel to the arc and pushing off straight to the goal behind your defender. This recruits your glutes